Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Michael Kamo. I'm Director of Content for T3 Live. I'm here with my good friend Sami Abusaad because we have lots of fun things to discuss, namely, can gold keep going? Gold has been pretty hot this year. It's even with it down today, it's picking up in March. And we are seeing tons of interest in gold and the precious metals out there. So we are definitely going to cover that and some other fun things with Sami. If you want to get Sami's free ebook, you can go to t3live.com/SA t3live.com/SA. The link is in the description if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you're watching on Twitter, you can get the link right inside the tweet itself. So again, what we're going to cover today, whether gold and silver keep going, what's going on with biotech, where small caps are heading, which names Sami likes, and what's happening with earnings season, which starts next Friday with JP Morgan, Citibank, Wells Fargo, and some others. So first of all, Sami, how are you doing today? How's the market treating you?
Doing great. Thank you.
Okay, so before we sort of get into the sectors and everything, what type of stocks do you normally like to trade?
The stocks that move. Really, the stocks that have high momentum and low spread. So that's what I like to do the most.
Okay, because it seems like a lot of the things that are moving are sort of slower, like energy, gold, silver, those types of things, but they are getting a lot of attention. So do you want to pull up your magical charts?
Yep.
And then we can start to break some of these things down. We see Ryan in the chat is asking questions. We'll get to those later. So guys, if you have questions, type them in the chat box and we will get to them at the end. And Sami should, yes, Ryan, we see yours. Those should be some good ones. And Sami's
go ahead.
Sami's bringing up his charts.
I think that Ryan asked about.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the chart, but just give me 1 sec.
Okay, we'll be up in 1 second. So looking at the okay. All right, we're going to bring up the charts. Okay, so let's start with gold. We'll get to silver, but gold is the big topic everybody's talking about. So what are you seeing happening with gold?
So here's the thing, is that people come to the market, like when they see something moving, then they react to it. You have to react to it before the crowd reacts to it. Like gold, how long have we been bullish on gold? Just how long? For a long time. Even in this weekly discussion that Mike and I do, we've been bullish on it for a long time. We discussed HMY, we discussed AU just last week. We talked about, I don't know, there were a couple other symbols. I'm in the AU. I did dump the HMY, which I regret doing so. But, the problem with gold and silver is that, it's very, very late. I have a couple of symbols that I can share with you that I think are not too late to do. But the rest of the gold and silver stocks are just simply too late. But they look higher long term. If you look at gold monthly chart, we had a really nice breakout last month. Silver is transitioning on the monthly chart, so not too late, but a lot of the silver stocks are long gone. So in terms of a couple of ideas that are not too late, SSRM, beautiful monthly chart. Okay, daily, actually I had it in the newsletter today, so it just triggered over 85 or 80 something. You see the bars high. Look at the data box right here. So that's 82. So just triggered 6 cents ago, basically. And then BTG is not too late. Of course, the ones that come late, there's a reason why they're not participating, is because they're weak on the larger time frames. But BTG, I actually got it yesterday, and today I see that it's down. And I got SBSW, I think. Yeah, SBSW, but I was told it's not gold. Oh, it is gold. Somebody said it wasn't gold. So in the room, because I said that's a gold stock that is not too late at all. So I got it yesterday, but you see how it says gold right here in the watermark? Somebody said that's platinum, not gold. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was gold. So, the SBSW, I guess, is a little bit late now. The trigger for it should have been either yesterday or the day before. And then the BTG, I did get it yesterday. And it's not, it's not going, but hopefully ends up moving with the rest of the gold sector. And then the SSRM. So those are three that are not late slash too late. The other ones that I know of, a couple that I'm in, way too late right now. So wait for the next pullback on the other ones.
Okay, so when you say something looks like it's too late, what do you see on the chart that tells you this is too late?
Up, 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 up. So it's up a lot already, and now people are starting to talk about it. It's too late. When you start to, when you start to see the names mentioned on Twitter or Reddit or whatever form you use, whatever social media you use, by that time it's already too late. In fact, somebody asked about Tesla in the comments, and I'm going to talk about it because in the room today, I told the room today that I read a tweet by some influencer that I don't follow, but it just came up in my feed yesterday, and the tweet went something like, the Tesla Model 3 Ludicrous, the performance basically, but they're changing the name from performance to ludicrous, I think, is an amazing car. Apparently, he attended the showing for it in LA yesterday or the day before. He says amazing, comma, TSLA garbage stock. So amazing car, okay, Tesla garbage stock. So I said to the room today, that means it's probably bottomed because everybody's hating Tesla. Now the trigger for Tesla was yesterday over the prior day's high, over that gap down bar's high. So the trigger was yesterday, but it also likely bottomed. I saw also Ryan mention the coin. I like it. I'm back in it. But, is it going to actually eventually I like it to 300, 350 up here, maybe 350. Is it going to, is this the next big play? I don't think so because it's already more than doubled the last month and a half or so. But I like it. It's a daily buy setup. And Carvana is a daily buy setup. On the monthly, it looks pretty good. Long term, still looks good, but up a lot. I mean, it dropped to $8, I think, Carvana. Actually, 3. I didn't know it got to 3. It's at 86, so it's up a lot already, but it's a daily buy setup. I'm in it. Looks good. Triggered today. You're not too late. So yeah, those 3 look good, and Tesla, I think, probably the bottom. So we'll see.
Okay, yeah. Funnily enough, how you talked about everybody hitting Tesla. I think yesterday it got 3 downgrades or 3 very bearish notes from Wall Street firms. So everybody came out and said, "Yeah, we hate Tesla." And also, as of yesterday morning, Tesla was the worst stock in the S&P 500 and Qs this year. It's come up now. It's like number 2 worst, number 2 or 3 worst now, but it was actually the worst.
And there's one more thing. I did not read the article, but I read the headline on my iPhone this morning, and this hedge fund manager gave it a target of $14. I mean, and said it can go bust. I mean, I probably still have the headline if I just go back to my tabs, to my Chrome tab, probably. Whatever. I don't want to waste time, but basically, I'm like, come on now. When people start to think, oh, this stock is going to 0, this is no good, this is garbage, you're probably looking at the bottom or very close to the bottom. So if a hedge fund manager says the target is 14 and it can probably go bust and he's short, it's probably the bottom. Now, if he gave it a target of 170, 160, 150, okay, that's reasonable. You can't put too much weight into it. But if he gives it a target of 14, it's getting ridiculous. So it's probably the bottom. I don't love the chart, but we'll see. I bought 10,000 shares of TSLT, which is the leveraged Tesla. Now, I bought 7 yesterday, and today 3. It's up $9,600. I hope it's the bottom. We'll see.
Okay, so yeah, so this is that. I found the article. Tesla Bear says it's going to go bust and it's worth 14. But interesting, that guy has been short Tesla since 2020. Yeah, 2020. So I mean, maybe he's right. He's been right for a few months and he's getting cocky, but seems like a good way to get attention. So why don't we, Sammy? Why don't we move on to silver? Related to gold, but SLV again is also getting a lot of attention. It's funny how you talk about how people on social media starting to talk about things all of a sudden. So the T3 Live Twitter account, we are talking about gold and silver quite a bit, and also cannabis. So why don't we go on to silver now? And what do you see with SLV?
Oh, SLV again on the monthly looks good. Here it is. The monthly is just breaking out, but on the daily it's up a lot of bars in a row, so that's too late. The entry should have been this day. Maybe the red bar also would have been acceptable, but that it's way too late. It's too extended. So silver too late for now. We gotta wait for a pullback. And then the other one that you asked me about, Mike, was what was it?
We haven't moved on to others just yet, but yeah, we could. Why don't we move on to biotech? Because biotech's getting a lot of attention. It was a big mover earlier in the year. It slowed down a little bit because of rising rates. So why don't we move on to XBI?
So XBI, the monthly bottomed, but it's not yet. Oh, you said cannabis. I think that's the other thing that you asked about. So XBI, I think, bottomed on the monthly, noticed the breakdown, and then it failed and went back up. So ended the downtrend on the monthly chart. Currently doing a weekly pullback. So this is a good spot to look to buy it. If you look at the daily chart, so I'm going from large to small, monthly, weekly, daily. The daily is still in a downtrend with lower highs, lower lows. So that's a lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. So it's not quite ready yet, but it's at a good spot to look to play it long. It's at a good spot, so that I like it. Now, in terms of cannabis, I did call the Cron yesterday in the newsletter. It triggered over 279, I think. This bar's high. That's 277. But basically, it's a weekly 1, 2, 3. See it? That's a weekly 1, 2, 3. So it's actually back down to that. No, not quite to the entry. It's like 3 cents above, but almost. I like it. The problem with cannabis to me is that, they've already moved up a lot. I did the ACB, but then it went crazy, and I took it in one day. I don't even know. Hold on, CGC or ACB? CGC probably, and I closed out of it on the same day, so it continued higher. But for the most part, the cannabis stocks are too far gone for now. Now, what's not too far gone are the ETFs, the MSOS, MSOX, which is the leveraged MSOS. That is a beautiful monthly chart. The MJ, that's a beautiful monthly chart. So I think cannabis, the rally for right now is a little overdone, but look for patterns for entries into the MJ, MSOS, or MSOX if you want the leveraged ETF. So I like cannabis, but not the individual names at the moment.
Okay, how about IWM? IWM, bears keep saying IWM has to participate. It's been a little sluggish. What do you see with IWM?
It's been a little sluggish, but as you can see, it's uptrending. Higher lows, higher highs, a bit sloppy. If you look at the monthly, that's a beautiful monthly chart. It is a bit sluggish, and I thought it would be by now. It would have caught up to the Qs and the SPY, but it looks good. It's bullish. I like it. Higher.
Okay. Okay. So outside, so we've covered a decent amount of ground already with the metals, biotech, small caps. What stocks are you liking right now from a swing perspective?
From a day trading perspective, how about that? CAG is looking good.
Okay, so this is
I'm always itching for a trade. That's why.
Okay, so this is a live call, so everybody's listening. So you like CAG right here, right now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
it triggered a little bit ago, but it's not too late.
Okay, all right. Everybody listen. Sammy, the last time he did this, he called the bottom in Tesla. It was either Coinbase or Tesla?
No, it was Tesla, actually.
It was Tesla,
and Coinbase the week after, I think.
Yeah.
But it was one Tesla of them on the gap down.
Yeah. One of them was because it was going climactic while we were talking, and then all of a sudden Sammy's like, yes, Tesla. Okay.
Yeah, and I bought 20,000 shares of TSLL that day, but I ended up not holding it. It was just a day trade. On the daily, on the day that it gapped down, this day. Anyways, okay, so the CAG, not bad as a day trade. Now, in terms of longer term trades, I'm in the pack and I'm really loving it. The PACK. It's not too late. In fact, uh, I just added to it last week, so I'm thinking about adding another lot next week. So not this week, but once the bar closes, over 8:30 on the PACK. It's a beautiful monthly chart, transitioned on the monthly. So already in it, just as a disclaimer, but looking to add to it. Other things that I like higher, there's a lot. I love the W. It's on the monthly chart. Looks really beautiful. So this one I'm in, but 100 shares. It's nothing. So I'm looking to add, but I'm waiting for an entry on the daily. So anytime it takes out a prior bar is high on the daily, I'm probably going to add to the W. So I like the W. I like the pack. There's a few other ones that I think should bounce, like the CRSP, down a lot into a lot of support. But I love it. I mean, the monthly is good. The daily is downtrending, but this might bounce a little bit. I mean, a lot, but it's challenging. If you want a big name, I like Oracle is a daily buy setup. That's not bad. It broke out on the monthly chart. If you look at the monthly on the gap up, it broke out to all-time high, or on the weekly rather, broke out on the gap up. So it's doing a daily buy setup, but that's kind of that's a swing. I mean, it could be held long term. You know what else I like? I like Goog. Would you believe? I like Goog. Popped and it's been to all-time high and it's been basing. So guess what? Over the all-time high, stop under the last 3 days. So I like Goog. I like the DXCM is the daily buy setup. Okay.
Sammy, I thought you didn't like any stocks. I thought, and you just gave us like five.
Oh, there's more. I can keep going. Trust me. There's a lot of the China stocks. I am pretty sure. Remember, Mike, you told me I think the FXI bottom. That was like a month ago at least. You were right.
Yeah.
You were right. Look at the FXI. Higher lows, higher highs, rising 20. On the weekly, there was a bearish sell setup right here. Failed on it. So I'm in the yen, which is the leverage ETF. I have the newsletter also is in it, but it's not too late. So I like the yen and the CWeb, which is the internet ETF for the China internet companies. So those two are good. And then in the China sector, or BZ is beautiful, is a daily buy setup. We're in the TME for the last couple months, and it looks incredible on the monthly chart. But one that is not yet, hasn't gotten going, that looks really, really good is the HUYA or something. It hasn't gotten going yet. Let me hold on one sec. Oh, HUYA. Look at that monthly. Looks amazing. So I like it over 490 on the HUYA. I like the YMM over 761 or so. It's also a transition on the monthly. Those are China stocks. So YMM, the BZ, but already in it, just as a disclaimer. I have 3,000 shares in it. And then, so the YMM, the BZ, the HUYA, and then I like the QFIN, but a little bit late now. I'm in it also. And then there's a few more, like, like which one? The NTS is at a good spot on the weekly and the monthly. Weekly is right at the 200. That's not bad. It's not my favorite, but there's lots of symbols that I like. The KC is not bad. There's a daily buy setup. I don't know what the BZ. We already talked about it. What about the Bizon? Bizon doesn't look good. IQ wants to break out, it looks like. So there's a lot of names, but from the China stocks, I would go with the HUYA as a long-term play. And then the QFIN, the BZ, the YMM. Those are kind of the three right now, the three favorites. I love the Got You monthly. Love the monthly, but it's not ready on the daily and the weekly. That's why I'm not mentioning it. I actually had 7,000 shares in it, but got out of it somewhere here. So I'm watching it for re-entry.
Okay, all right. So earnings season starts next week. Sammy always loves earnings season because there's lots of fireworks. There's lots of moving. So they start next week with the banks on Friday. So I know last year earnings season, you had good results. What are you seeing? I don't know if there's, even if you can see anything, but what are you thinking for this earnings season?
This earnings season, so last quarter or the first quarter of this year, I do the tracking on the weekends, but I just want to double check before I say anything. The As of right now, 70% of the plays for the first quarter of this year were long, 30% short. Okay, and most of the money was made. So most of the plays were long, only 30% short. I think this quarter, this upcoming quarter, we're gonna probably play a lot more short, even though the market is bullish, because a lot of stocks will be very, very overbought and will probably be gapping down on earnings. So I'm predicting that for this upcoming quarter, we will have a lot more shorts than we did in the first quarter, which again was 70% long, 30% short. I think the ratio might flip a little bit.
Okay, does that mean you are more bearish on the market overall here?
No, but I'm just, when the market is up like this, that means, stocks with higher beta that are more volatile might already be vertical, might be already way, way, way up, right? So I'm not bearish on the market at all. I can't be. I would love to. I'm a bear by nature. I'd love to be, but I can't. Look at this. I mean, how can we? This is actually the cues. The SPY is even prettier. How could I be bearish on this? Like, I'd have to be an idiot. I'm sorry to say. I would have to be a total idiot to be bearish on the market when it's grinding up like that. We talked about it last week, Mike, right? We said if the trend is up and it's just a grind up, never go against it. If it starts to accelerate and go vertical, you can. But if it's just up and it's a steady uptrend, never bet against it. Never try to predict the top, because you'll be wrong 95% of the time, right? Maybe 100%. And when you're finally right about it, you'll have given up anyway, or run out of funds. So never try to predict the top, because every time it should be short-lived. And so I'm totally bullish on the market, but some of the stocks that that I'm looking at are up 300-400% already this year. So imagine a stock that is fundamentally not very good. Like, the fundamentals are not very good, but the stock price is up several hundred percentage points. That's probably, and that's going to be baked into the earnings expectations. So that's probably going to lead to a lot of gap downs, is what I'm thinking, especially, among those small stocks that are up so much. But the market itself, absolutely not bearish on at all.
Okay, guys. Before we get some final words from Sami, I encourage you guys to go get his ebook at t3live.com/SA. Unsexy Trend Analysis Secrets That Generate Beautiful Profits. This is the most boring trading strategy in the universe. Everybody hates it because it's so unsexy, it's so boring, but it works. So go to t3live.com/SA to download today. It's totally free, and it has trading techniques straight from the pristine course, which is $795. So Sami, from big picture, if somebody's not having a good year, if they're struggling, if they're not making money, and they're feeling nervous into earnings season, what advice do you have for them?
This would apply to, just in general. This is even in life. The most important thing is to stop and look. Like, if you're lost driving, the most important thing is not to speed up or turn around. The most important thing is to figure out where you are and where you're headed, right? Are you headed north, south, west, east? So the same in trading. The most important thing is not for me to dump some advice on you, some guru advice on you. No, the most important thing is to tell you to stop and figure out what the problem is. If you can't put your finger on it, if you can't figure out what the problem is, you're probably not, you're never going to fix it. But the first and most important thing is to figure out what the problem is. And then from there, if you're able to see what the problem is, you will be able to correct it. So that's the most important thing. Figure out what the problem is, then you can correct it. Now, if you know what the problem is and you're not fixing it, you're not able to fix it, it means you have a discipline problem, probably, which is a no in trading. So that I can't fix for you. But if you can see it for what it is and be able to to address it, then you're on your way to becoming a successful trader. Otherwise, might as well just go do something else, that doesn't require discipline. But okay, so that's what I would have to say about that, Mike.
Okay, I don't know what people are going to do in life if they don't have discipline. Everything requires discipline. So I think people are screwed if they can't find it somewhere. Okay, all right, Sami. We know Sami has to get back to trading. Sami trades like 24 hours a day. I can see his eyes roving. So Sami, as always, lots of fun, guys. We'll be back next Thursday, hopefully with Sami, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time next Thursday. Everybody, good luck out there.